Hi there traders, this is Chris from Elite Currency with a video about the pound USD. The cable really made some interesting moves in the forex market, and I wanted to talk to you a bit about how the price movement happened and how the breakout occurred. So before we do that though, be aware that trading for exchange is considered high risk, may not be suitable for everyone. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This video is for educational and informational purposes only, and by continuing watching this video, you agree with this disclaimer, plus you're aware of the risk involved when trading. Okay, let's start with taking a look at the pound USD daily chart. And obviously we've been in a strong momentum to the downside here, really price accelerating very impulsively to the downside. And that's something that actually was not so surprising when price started to break below this support line. Price was actually respecting this bottom of the channel to the downside. And back then, we were already saying like price has to break this channel to the downside before it really can accelerate and the trend can really push forward a lot lower. And once price started to push with a daily candle or two below this channel, you know, it was the moment that it really started to snowball downwards. So we got a great trend, right? Once it started to push through, and beautiful fall, price falling very impulsively. We had a good shorting zones in this trend, but eventually price started to make a bigger retracement. And if we zoom into the hourly chart, you can see one of the first clues, at least, was a big impulse to the upside. Now, there was a previous impulse as well, right? Here, for instance, we had an impulse, but be aware that that was actually the third move, right? The first one was here, the second one was here, and this one was a third one. So there's a bit of a difference there. This was the first move, right? Which indicates that there could certainly be a follow-through on that impulse. And if you look at the entire downside, obviously you already have multiple divergences, maybe even triple on the hourly. Another reason why price could be in an overextended side here on the hourly chart. And on a 4-hour chart, all right, the downtrend, and here you had engulfing twins, for instance. So there could have been, you know, good reasons to expect at one point or another some bigger retracement, even though the pound USD is trending that nicely to the downside. And when you add up all those factors, then I think at this point that was a good moment to expect that. That was last week, and we did get the push up. But what happened then? I saw at that moment basically a bigger, already a bigger impulse happening. And when the market opened this week around here, I was already saying in the Monday video, you know, you got to be careful with this, of course, not to trade too fast against the trend. But if this price action is not so quick to the downside and doesn't like fall immediately, you know, within Monday open all the way down here and then starts to make a bear flag, then this could easily turn out to be kind of a correction. And that's what happened. Right? Basically, price started to bounce at the 50 fib, bounce at the 38, bounce at the 50, and then ultimately bounced at the 61.8 and was a bit choppy. So it made this falling wedge, which is a corrective chart pattern. Now once that pattern breaks, once that channel to the downside breaks, you get a continuation of the upside one more time. Now, that's all this week, right? I was talking about, let's take a look at how much it falls here, if it's choppy or not. Then in the live webinar, we were talking about the bounce at this fib and the breakout potential there. And that's the trade I took upon the breakout and closed the profit here for about 76. Now, at the moment, what I was talking about this morning is the fact that if price breaks above this top, that there could be a breakout territory to the 145. Now, that has not happened as yet, and you know, one of the things I'm looking for is a break of that 143.60, because that's a heavy resistance zone. Let's face it, you got bottom here, you got a top here, and another top here. So once price breaks that level, there's also a 23.6 fib, which you cannot see too well at the moment because there's a fib blocking it. But let me zoom in, and let me move that fib a bit. There we go. You can see that there is a 23.6 fib as well. So when price breaks above that level, right, there is a breakout potential up to the 38.2 fib, in my opinion at least, and a minus 61.8 target because we had a 61.8 fib bounce. That move is not complete yet. It still has to be initiated upon the break here. I'll be looking for a break, a pullback on the lower time frame, and a continuation up to that level. Will that happen? I don't know. Time will tell. On an hourly, or let me go back to the 4-hour, you can see that you know, it might not happen anytime soon. At the moment, this is still looking like a bull flag, and if it breaks within the next couple of hours, that's still a decent chance of happening. but maybe it will be later on this week. Maybe it'll take a bit of time because as you can see, I put a fib on this swing high, swing low, and I said I'm looking for a bounce at the 38.2 fib. Price went down, boom, bounced up, exactly as expected. So I was expecting a break above this top or a bounce at the 38.2 fib. Now it did bounce, and about 60 pips, but now it's moving down again. So there's a bigger correction going on here than necessarily expected. I expected this morning, and that's okay as long as price doesn't break certain levels. I'm not taking a trade like that, and the bounce at the 38.2 fib was still good for 60 pips anyhow. So the next support level, in my opinion, is again these fibs, and that could easily be again a bouncing spot, and price could maybe then stay in this bull flag, and then 2 days from now break to the upside. There is a big news event later today, and obviously price could just also stay quiet, most likely, until that news event. And the news event can really do anything. That's the thing. The news events are things on their own, and until that news event is out of the way, it could do literally anything. It could send this down, and the whole outlook looks different. So I want to be clear on that, that there's something to be considered about that. If the news event does push it through like this, and see a flag like that, well, that could be interesting already for potential break tomorrow, for instance. If the news event lets price go down like this, but then bounces, well, then tomorrow it could be good for the continuation. All depends on how price moves with that news event. For the moment, though, you can see that there's good impulse, correction, and there have been a couple of good trades on the upside this week already. Let's see if that continues, or will price fail and ultimately start breaking to the downside, or will it make that bigger move up to the 38.2 fib? Those are the two things I'm keeping an eye on for the moment on the pound USD. Thought that was just a bit of interesting development on the cable. If you're interested in opening an account with Admiral Markets, award-winning broker, in fact, best MT4 broker of 2015 in the UK, use this link and you'll get our moving average trend course for free, and you also get credit as you trade and per your volume. So hope to see you soon in our webinars and videos, and wish you good trading. Cheers.